Tutorial for xword.group. This is a tool I made to create a crossword grid layout in Google Sheets for collaborative solving. So I have this crossword puzzle here that I would like to solve with other people. So I'm going to use this tool to make a Google spreadsheet that lets me share it and solve it with them. So the first thing to do is input the grid into the tool here. So this grid has along the top 12 white squares, 5 black squares. So that's a 17 by 17. Alright, so the grid appears here, so I just want to copy over the black squares from the original into the tool. And you'll notice as you do this, the numbers update automatically. The settings on this are for your typical American or British crossword. If you have some other variant, you may need to change some of the settings along the top. But this should just take a couple of minutes. Okay, that looks good, and you can tell by checking the numbers. Yep, numbers match up. Great. So now the next step is to pick generate, and what this will do is you will sign into your Google account and grant the app permission to export a Google spreadsheet into your account. A pop-up blocked by browser, so you need to, the sign-in window is a pop-up, so you need to allow pop-ups in this case. Okay, generation complete, pick open to view. So now when I pick open, it takes me to the spreadsheet. From this point on, you pretty much can work just in the spreadsheet. You don't need to go back to xword.group. So you see the grid is here that got exported, and the clues are going to need to be pasted into this section here. So the next step is to go back to the original crossword and get the clues and copy them into the spreadsheet. Now, I definitely recommend you don't just paste the clues directly into these cells because you're probably going to want to change the formatting before you do that. So paste it into a separate sheet. Yeah, okay, so this formatting will need a little work. One thing is, I see in the original that some of the clues just have this frowny face, and that did not show up at all in the paste. Okay, that looks a little weird, but I think it'll work out okay. So all of these ones that have just a number were originally frowny faces in the original clues, so I'm just going to paste over them. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Now I'm going to take the across clues, because I think these are all correct now. There's one per cell. Alright, copy, and back in the original, cross clues start here just below the word across, and this is important. I'm going to paste special, paste values only, and you can also do Control-Shift-V. So what that does is it removes the formatting, and it goes in much nicer. And fortunately you can see that the clue is 74 across, here is in 74, so that looks good. Same with down clues, and we are all ready to get started solving. You can share the spreadsheet with other people by clicking share or moving it to a shared folder, so different people can work on this at the same time. So let's take a look at the features in the spreadsheet. So basically the way you do this is by putting one letter in each cell. Okay, and everybody works together and does that. That's obviously not right. Let's see. Oh, here we go. 34, learning location. I know that one. So this says that cell 34 across starts in cell H11. So H11 here. Okay, fill in school. And you'll notice that when you fill a clue in, that clue, or when you fill an answer in, the clue becomes faded. It helps to know what you still need to work on. The answer is here on the right, and if you fill in a partial answer, like let's look at one of the down clues that corresponded to this one. Here we go. So art blank we now know is blank 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 O, because we filled in one of the squares in this answer. And I think this is probably art deco, but if you get stuck on any of these, if you want to cheat, then these links on the right are pretty handy. So the one look is a popular crossword solver. So this searches for art blank that matches blank 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 O, and so in this case, yeah, it says deco. So that looks pretty good. So if I fill in this starting at K8, 22 down, K8. Now when you look, you'll see that the corresponding clue has been faded out. The other link here, Nutramatic, is very similar. except it does not take into account the clue. It's just matching the things that in this case match blank 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 O. So those are both. Another thing that comes in handy is if you don't want to look up where the cell G7 is, see where 18 across is, sometimes an easier way is this cell here to the left of the clue. If you put anything in there, such as a dot, then the clue, the squares in the answer will be highlighted. You'll see highlighted here in yellow. And that makes it a little easier to find clues rather than looking up the cell. And in this case, I'm going to highlight all of the ones that have this frowny face in them because I think those are going to be important later on in solving the puzzle. Okay. Yeah, so we can see where it'll help to remember that all of these are frowny face clues. So that's pretty much it. Now, there's one very major piece that's missing, you probably noticed, is that these cells do not have numbers in them. And whatever way you're thinking of putting numbers into a Google Sheets like this, it probably won't work. I have tried everything. There is one thing that partially works. It's not a perfect solution, but it's there if you want it. So if you want to put an overlay image on top of the cell, then go back to xword.group and pick download overlay here. So that will download an image called overlay.png. This is mostly transparent, and what you can do is pick insert image and then drag the picture you downloaded into here. So this is just a mostly transparent image but with the numbers written on it. So now you can just line it up carefully with the edges here. Alright, and there we go. So it looks pretty good. The major problem with this is that now this image is on top of the grid, so you can't click on a cell. So like I want to click on the cell here, it doesn't work. It selects the image instead. The only way to get around the grid now is to use the arrow keys. So if I want to get to that cell, I have to like arrow key over to it. So this method has its trade-offs. So if you want to use it, it's there. I usually prefer it, but the people that you're solving with have to know that they can't click on it, and especially if you try to drag, like highlight a set of cells, but they're behind the image, that won't work. You just drag the whole image. So it's up to you. So that's it. I hope you find this tool useful, and if you have any features or requests, let me know. Thanks for trying it out.